These are the backbone of the global economy and a major source of jobs. Canals connect regions, they enable international trade, and they carry a large share of global shipping. But for people living nearby, canals are often contentious. They can displace farmers, they strain water resources, and they reshape natural ecosystems. The global economy cannot do without canals. But the real question is this: can we build and operate them in a truly sustainable way? More than 80% of global trade is conducted by sea, and a large share of the traffic depends on canals. This global maritime network relies on these strategic links. They shorten routes and they connect markets. Two canals stand out. The Suez Canal links the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea. It shortens routes between Asia and Europe by around 9,000 kilometers, or nearly 10 days at sea. The Panama Canal connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific. It saves up to 8,000 kilometers, or 1 to 2 weeks of travel, by avoiding the long route around South America and Cape Horn. Almost 1/5 of global maritime trade passes through these two canals, and within continents, goods are moved between ports, cities, and industrial hubs along thousands of kilometers of rivers and inland canals.
Artificial waterways are very important for various different things. Of course, there's transport and navigation is one of the key ones.
Matthew McCartney works on improving water management in vulnerable regions.
We also use artificial waterways for other things, like moving water for irrigation. We move, for draining water away from places where we don't want it, and for things like flood control.
But all that engineering and construction changes the environment. It alters the waterways, changes reservoirs, and ultimately transforms the entire ecosystem. Loss of natural habitats and growing pressure on water supplies are among the main concerns raised by environmental groups. Now let's go to Istanbul, Turkey. Here in 2021, the government of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan formally launched the largest infrastructure project in Turkey's history. A highly controversial 45-kilometer canal planned to connect the Sea of Marmara with the Black Sea, next to an existing natural canal, the Bosphorus Strait. The government says the canal will ease maritime traffic, reduce accidents in the Bosphorus, and generate revenue through tolls and new urban development. According to the municipality of Istanbul, run by the opposition, the government has never presented a feasibility report, so the exact planned costs are unknown. According to the municipal assessment, the construction cost alone would amount up to $65 billion. This is more than the annual GDP of a country like Bolivia. The canal itself is on hold because of high costs, Turkey's economic crisis, legal battles, and strong political opposition. But the urban development linked to the project is moving fast, especially since March 2025, after the arrest of Istanbul's mayor, one of the project's most outspoken critics.
İnşaat ve spekülasyon üzerinden de bu proje körüklendi.
Berkan Özyar is a researcher specializing in agricultural policy.
İstanbul'un çok sınırlı tarım arazileri zaten bu bölgede toplanıyor. Hem tarım, yani hem bitkisel üretim hem hayvancılık için temel yerler buralar. Buralardaki tarım arazilerin çok büyük bir kısmını ortadan kaldıracak.
The canal threatens to displace hundreds of farmers from nearby rural areas. In Baklalı, a village surrounded by future canal plots, families who depend on livestock farming are already thinking about leaving.
Daha bu köyde 2 sene diyorum. Yani ben kendi düşüncem bu. Benim daha 2 sene daha mandacılık, hayvancılık. Totalde 100 tane hayvan varsa şu an 50'ye düştü. Çünkü mera yok. Hayvanları salıp rahatlıkla otlayabilecekleri bir alan yok. Sağını dönüyor beton, solunu dönüyor otoban.
Water is another major concern. Environmentalists and scientists warn that the canal would cut through rivers and wetlands that supply drinking water to the mega city of more than 15 million people. And once that system is disrupted, the impact would be felt across the region. According to Özyar, the environmental impact is already visible. Real estate construction is advancing into wetlands and forest areas, disrupting migratory bird routes and leaving Istanbul with fewer green spaces.
2011 yılından 2025 yılına kadar toplumsal muhalefet, odalar, akademisyenler, uzmanlar, belediyeler ve 14 yıl boyunca projeye mani olmayı başarabildi. Ancak bugün geldiğimiz noktada başka bir siyasi gerçeklikten de yaşadığımız için şu an önünde çok durulamaz bir noktada.
The government insists the project will boost economic growth and strengthen Turkey's position in global maritime trade. Turkey's Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, which oversees the canal project, was not available for an interview. So how do other countries deal with the tension between economic growth and environmental protection? Now we head to France. Here, construction is underway on the Canal Seine-Nord Europe, a fully artificial 107-kilometer waterway. It will link the River Seine to the Dunkirk-Schlette Canal, connecting France with Belgium and the Netherlands. The goal is to complete a European inland waterway network, allow larger cargo vessels, and shift freight away from roads. The project includes a wide set of environmental measures: ecological riverbanks, new vegetation, wildlife crossings, relocation of species, and other compensation systems to limit damage to ecosystems.
En termes de reprise, ça représente un peu plus de 3000 hectares et les aménagements environnementaux, eux, concernent 1200 hectares.
As part of this effort, a section of the river Ouse is being restored. Sediment has been removed, riverbanks are being rehabilitated to allow plants and animals to return. In one restored area, the Grand Perle, a protected wet plant, has reappeared and was later relocated to a more suitable site.
Et donc on va forcément retrouver toutes les espèces qui auraient pu être impactées dans des meilleures conditions.
With an estimated cost of $6 billion funded by the French state and European Union, the canal aims to offer a cleaner alternative to road transport. Over 40 years, it is expected to cut up to 50 million tons of CO2 emissions, more than what Portugal emits in a year. Despite these measures, the project remains controversial. Farmers and local residents fear the loss of fertile land. They question the quality of relocated soils and warn about heavy water use in drought-stricken region. The tension between economic goals and local needs remains unresolved. The Canal Seine-Nord Europe is scheduled to begin operations in 2032. So far we have talked about how canals affect the environment. But in Panama, the relationship flips. Here, the climate change itself is putting the famous canal at risk.
Este es un fenómeno que ya se viene observando hace algunos años. Cuando hicimos el estudio en el canal, justo hace casi una década, ya identificábamos que el canal tenía una vulnerabilidad importante en términos de la inestabilidad creciente en las lluvias.
Eduardo Segarra is a research economist at the Group for the Analysis of Development, an independent research center in Peru.
La zona en verdad es una zona de muchísima lluvia, es una de las zonas más lluviosas del mundo. Sin embargo, por el proceso del cambio climático y otros procesos, han empezado a hacerse más frecuentes las sequías.
Water scarcity has become the Achilles heel of the Panama Canal. In 2023, severe drought intensified by El Niño pushed water levels in the canal reservoirs dangerously low, forcing authorities to limit shipping traffic.
El verano del 24, que va de enero a mayo, fue donde tuvimos que bajar cupos de 36 diarios a 24.
Ilia Espino de Marotta has worked for more than 30 years at the Panama Canal Authority. By August 2023, waiting times for ships without reservations had risen to an average of 8 to 10 days, a sharp increase compared to previous months. This hit global trade and struck a key source of income for Panama's economy. Although the water levels have recovered and the canal is now operating normally, authorities say that they are taking steps to prepare for future droughts.
Nosotros estamos ahora mismo trabajando en un proyecto, un nuevo reservorio, un nuevo lago, que es el lago del Río Indio, de unas 4.600 hectáreas, que nos va a permitir almacenar suficiente agua para que no nos impacte lo que pasó en el 24.
The project would secure water, both for the canal and for millions of people in Panama. But river communities protested. Building the reservoir would require the relocation of settlements and jobs. Authorities say they are developing education, rural water, and resettlement plans for 550 families, including restoring their livelihoods, with additional funding for environmental mitigation, reforestation, and wildlife corridors. Meanwhile, the Canal Authority is already upgrading hydraulic systems and using water-saving locks. By 2030, more than $5 billion are set to be invested. Beyond limiting damage, experts argue that canals and waterways can actually support conservation if they are managed and planned with clear environmental rules from the start.
And good things are like constructing them with natural banks and trying to maintain the shape of or a more natural shape of a canal rather than just a straight line with concrete banks. You might want vegetated banks. You can build in habitat features into the canals, so you can put reed beds in. You can incorporate things like fish refuges within the canals.
Steps like these are already being applied. They alone won't automatically make a canal green. Besides limiting the damage, in some cases it also creates environmental benefits along the way. These measures do not erase the original footprint of a canal. Any new canal means a deep environmental change, and often a social one too. The real difference comes later. It depends on what happens after construction, whether management can bring engineering and nature together, or whether it makes it worse. There is also the economic angle. Moving goods by water instead of road is cheaper and emits less CO2. But that alone doesn't justify building canals everywhere.
Of course, in places where there's fewer, then maybe there may be an argument using them for transport reduces emissions compared to roads. So there could be an argument for that. But overall, I think the main focus should be on maintaining and perhaps rehabilitating existing canal networks.
Without canals and waterways, global trade would be slower, more expensive, and far more dependent on road and air transport, both of which have a much bigger environmental footprint. Canals remain essential to the global economy, but they also create tension. They reshape landscapes, put pressure on water resources, and force communities to adapt. They can offer logistical and environmental benefits, but their sustainability depends as much on management as on engineering, balancing economic efficiency, environmental protection, and fairness for nearby communities. What are canals and waterways look like in your country? Do you think we need to build more of them or manage better the ones that we already have? Tell us in the comments.